Good morning, guys. It is Monday morning and it is already hot out here. It is absolutely awesome. It's a reminder that summer is almost here. But today I am out in the garden. If you watched my my victory garden update, you know that I've got aphids. So I was researching, kind of familiarizing myself with how to get rid of them, and what I have on hand to use is DE. So I'm going to treat my infected plants with DE, but I will tell you that I have found baby tomatoes, so I'm super excited about that. And I'm also going to prune these tomatoes while I'm out here. So let's get started. So I'm going to start pruning this tomato plant, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out what we call the suckers. So whenever you are trying to find a sucker, what you're going to do is you're going to follow along the main stem, and anywhere between the main stem and a leaf, you see something growing out of what a lot of people refer to as the pit. So here's your main stem, here's a leaf, and then right here, if you can see that, that is a sucker. So we're gonna just take that off. It's really simple, just to prune it off or pinch it off. And what that's gonna do is that's going to send all of the energy into feeding and growing the main part of the plant. I see lots of baby tomatoes. I love growing mortgage lifters because they provide big, beautiful, delicious fruit that you can use for canning. You can use it for as a slicing tomato. You can use it for all kinds of things. They are just wonderful, yummy, delicious tomatoes, and they're huge, so they're really fun to grow. So I think I've got all of that one. So what I've been learning is that aphids and ants live together harmoniously. The aphids rely on the ants to take them where they need to go. So I guess like the ants carry the aphids to the plant. And what the ants get out of it is, as the aphids suck the sap out of the plant, they release what's called honeydew. And it's I guess like a sweet nectar that the ants like to eat. So a lot of organic gardeners say if you can control the ants, you can control the aphids. That was our trash just got picked up. Anyway, so if you can control the ants, you can control the aphids, and there's several different ways that you can do that. But right now, I'm just gonna worry about controlling the aphids. I see ants, but there's not a lot of them. So I'm gonna concentrate on the aphids first and see how that works. Okay, so I just sprinkled my tomato plant with DE, and now I'm gonna move on to the rest of these, check them for aphids, and prune them.
Garden grow, water and sunshine. What makes your spirit grow, knowing that she'll be mine. Tater bug, my potatoes. Tater bug, don't want my tomatoes. Tater bug.
Okay, so I've got all of the suckers taken off of my tomato plants, and I've got the tomato plants and the other bed are the only ones that are infected with or that have aphids. So I did notice on my DE bag that it does say that it also kills ants, and that it should take 24 hours to take care of everything. So we'll see how it works. I'll keep you updated on that. Okay, so now that I've got all of the suckers taken off of my tomato plants, I'm going to go ahead and weed the bed. Now we are doing the autopilot gardening method, which includes core gardening method. It includes intensive gardening, which is where you plant everything close together. And I'm telling you, I have had to do minimal weeding. And so if you are looking for an easier way to garden, this really, I am very, very impressed and very happy so far with what we've got going on. Now, as the plants grow and they provide more shade for the growing medium, we will have to do less and less weeding, but there is some weeding involved in the beginning. And of course, it also depends on where you get your growing medium. So we got our compost that we're growing in from a guy in town, and he composts green materials from a mowing service. So everything in here, you know, there's definitely going to be some weed seeds, and there's going to be that. We've also got some gourd squash plants that we've had to take care of that keep popping up. But yeah, I mean, this is awesome. This is awesome. I highly recommend this. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will put a link in the description box below to M.I. Gardner's book, The Autopilot Garden, and we are following it to a T. So it's minimal watering, minimal weeding, intensive planting, high yields. Yeah, this is definitely the way to go, and I think next year we're going to add more beds and we're going to keep doing this. Okay, so in this bed I have some weeds, so I'm just going to clear this out, and then we're going to get the weeds out of the other tomato bed and then just keep moving down.
Tater bug, eating my potatoes. Tater bug, don't want my tomatoes. Tater bug, what makes you so hungry? Tater bug, eating all my money. What makes your garden grow? Water and sunshine. What makes your spirit grow? Knowing that she'll be mine.
So I think this is a really good example of intensive gardening. You can see we've got a few rows of green beans planted here. Then we have our cucumbers planted in the back. And I have not pulled weeds for probably a couple of weeks. Just when I see like some of this grass here, before the bean plants were very big, I just, you know, anytime I saw them, I would pull them. But as you can see, I mean, there are a couple of weeds. See how easy they are to pull out by the root? But because there is so much ground cover because of the intensive planting, there's not hardly any weeds. And that's exactly what you're looking for with intensive planting. See, here's a little bit, but this is an exposed area. And look, my zinnia is starting to open up. But yeah, I don't have any bean flowers yet, but they're coming. Same thing over here. The only place that there's really any weeds is right there in that open spot. So I'm gonna pull those. I do have some squash planted over there. They just haven't got big enough to cover the ground yet. This right here is radishes, and I don't know if they're gonna grow fast enough before the zucchini and the squash plants shade it out completely. So we'll hold our breath and see. So there's practically no weeds over here. I did see this morning. Bummer. Spinach is looking good. I'm gonna harvest some of these. We're gonna eat some fresh, some of it maybe frozen, I don't know. But this is intensive gardening with lettuce. You plant it really close together and it just looks beautiful. It's just a big salad bar. And the same thing with the radishes. So I'm gonna keep, I do see back here where there's some exposure, there's grass, but right in here, there's not hardly any at all. Very happy to see ladybugs in the garden though, very happy about that. All right, let's look at these radishes. I think I'm gonna have a big salad for lunch today. A little breakfast for later. Okay, so I also brought out my seeds just to see if there was anything else I could plant. You know, and I do that all through growing season. I keep coming out here. If I see an empty space, I'm like, what can I put there? So I'm gonna go through my seeds and see if anything strikes inspiration. Okay, so I went ahead and planted some more corn, and I added dirt to the straw because I think part of the reason why some of the corn didn't come up was because there probably wasn't enough dirt. I don't know. So I planted some more corn through here. I also planted some, I don't know, I'm just trying it, seeing there's gonna be a lot in this bed, but that's okay. So I just planted some golden bantam corn from the M.I. Gardner Homestead collection. So yeah, I planted some kind of through here, through there, and then I also planted some right here because, you know, hey, it was a clear spot. So I just did that. And over here, I need to get one more bell pepper plant because a bird snipped that one. So that way I'll have 4 California Wonder Bells. And then kind of in this middle space here, and then along this back part here, I planted some okra plants from seed. So hopefully those will come up all right. We'll see. So the next thing I need to do is figure out what I am going to do with this mess. So obviously, this cabbage is too far gone. I mean, this literally happened overnight. We were out here yesterday, everything was looking beautiful, came out here this morning, and a worm had made this as breakfast. So we're gonna pull this up, and I'm trying to decide what to do with the space, if I need to buy another cabbage plant or just plant something else right here. The jury is still out.
Hey guys, I was editing this video and realized that I did not end it. So I will tell you that I did end up pulling that cabbage and composting it. And I haven't planted anything in its place yet. So yeah, in the coming days we'll figure out what we can stick there. And I hope you guys enjoyed working out in the garden with me. And until next time.